Hi there, Rick here. Um, it's April 9th, and yeah, I have my Microsoft Money app open. Want to talk about the movement in uh, gold this morning. Um, well, it happened overnight. Okay. I only see this maybe about once a year. Okay. Um, so I'll put my mouse pointer on it. Okay. You see that gold is $3,110.50 right there. There was a movement of $120 overnight. That's 4.02%. Okay. Like I say, I only see a movement of $100. Um, overnight, maybe about once a year. It's really uncommon, okay? Now check out silver right here, okay? Okay, it changed since the last time I saw it this morning before I went to work, okay? I think it was at about 63 cents. Now there's a movement of $1.30, okay? So that's 4.4%, okay? So it almost what? It doubled. Yeah. So a movement of what? $1.32 for silver, okay? In uh you know, in what? A day and a half? Okay? It's quite amazing, okay? Like I say, just a little while ago it was at 3,000. Now it's what? 3,112, okay? Um that is huge, okay? Because even last week, I think it was Thursday, okay? Silver moved down, was it about $3, okay? And then Friday it moved down another $2. So that's $5, okay, in a matter of 2 days, okay? That is huge, okay? I was gonna say that there's probably something big happening in gold and even silver right now because I see those big, huge movements, right? And I'll save this for another video, okay? But Donald Trump and Elon Musk, okay? They want to audit the Fort Knox, the gold in Fort Knox, okay? And I was gonna say whoever's controlling it has a lot of power. The reason why I say that is because even though they say they want to audit Fort Knox, um, I wouldn't be surprised. It won't be until maybe 5 to 6 months, maybe even a year later. Yeah, that long. Okay. So if they don't have the gold in there, okay, um, they're rushing to get the gold in there right now. Okay. Um, Sometimes too, it's not that easy because um, when you start buying a lot of gold and start moving a lot of gold on the world market, people tend to take notice. Okay. And I think it hasn't been audited for about 50, 60 years. Yeah, that long. Okay. Even before I was born. Okay. Um, and if they audit it, okay, in my opinion, I feel that the gold is not there. Okay, maybe some, but I would say that there is a lot of gold that is just not there. Okay, they're either scrambling to try to get the gold in there, or they're just trying to figure out a way to uh, just try to fix it. But what I want to know too is, um, are they able to test the gold to see if it was refined recently? Okay, like if it was it melted and formed into a gold bar recently? Okay, because I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, the gold that was supposed to be in there, like 50, 60 years ago, I wouldn't be surprised that gold, okay, a lot of that gold is not there. When they enter the vault, okay, I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of the gold bars in Fort Knox, okay, it has been recasted, Okay, so it's not the original bars from way back 50, 60 years ago. It's actually new, um, minted bars. Okay, within the past few years. Okay, because I think they're getting the gold from London and they're getting it shipped by either, I don't know, plane uh, or some other means of transportation, right? And I heard that some of the gold is in New York, okay, under the bank, and some of it is what is it? I think Denver, okay. But if this gold is not there, okay, I could see a lot of other people's gold, maybe even Trump's gold, okay? It's going to maybe go up, I don't know, 5x or even 10x, okay? Because you have to remember, this is the national treasure of a country, okay? And I'm surprised that previous presidents didn't visit Fort Knox, okay? Because you have to remember, it's the national treasure of the country, right? And I think previous presidents, okay, have visited Fort Knox, okay? But they were just told not to, say anything. Like, for instance, not all the gold is there, okay? Because you're going to cause a panic, okay? There's going to be a panic in the stock market, okay? Maybe it causes a major gold rally, okay? Because the people that do have gold, okay, it's going to go up in value because, a lot of the gold is just not in Fort Knox, okay? And it's not uncommon. I wouldn't be surprised for a number of bars, maybe even a lot of bars, okay, to be fake, okay, because they already in the was it in the London vault, I think it's called the LBMA, okay, they found fake gold bars, okay, so they probably have a protocol in place, okay, to test the bars when they come in and go into the vault, right, of London. And well, these people or persons, right, they're getting by the was it the London's uh the London's protocol in testing the bars before they're considered authentic, and then they let those bars into the vault, right? You have to remember too, other countries are buying these bars, so I would think that they would be pretty angry if they found out, the bars that they got, okay, were fake, right? Because imagine the amount of security that they have to hire, the plane to fly it to their country, right? And then to put it into their vaults, right? And then then they find out what 10% of our bars, or maybe even more than that, are fake, right? So they bought fake gold bars, right? Um, because when they do an audit on the gold in Fort Knox, what they're going to do, okay, they're gonna probably compare the numbers on the bars to what they have on the ledger, right? But also too, they're going to start drilling holes in different into different gold bars to see whether or not, okay, this is 100% gold, or whether or not they filled it with some sort of other fake metal, right? So I could see this being an advantage to, well, Donald Trump and even Elon Musk, okay? Because remember, if that gold is not there, okay, the gold that Donald Trump has, it could easily go up like 5 times or even 10 times, right? Because already, on the internet, okay, I see, economists saying, gold's going to go to 10,000, okay? And I believe it, okay? Because I heard that was it the 6 largest banks or 7 largest banks are shorting the price of gold. So they're controlling the price of gold from going up, okay? But once when it starts to go up, okay, I think you have to remember they might get caught in a short squeeze, okay? And, usually what happens is that you have to put more money down if you're trying to short a particular commodity, almost like what happened to GameStop, okay? Once when people started to buy the stock, the price went up. They had to put down more money because they had to cover their shorts, right? And I heard that for every I think $10 movement, okay, up for GameStop, the hedge fund was losing as much as $1 billion. You have to remember it went all the way up from $3 something to $500, okay? I heard it almost caused financial meltdown. And then even some Congress ladies and congressmen had to get involved in it because it was causing what is it, kind of like a major issue in the stock market, okay? And they got some help from Congress, okay? I don't know what Congress actually done, okay? But sometimes I think that, yeah, they done something crooked because the price started to drop, okay? You have to remember the guy who started it all, Roaring Kitty, okay? He was telling people not to sell your shares. The price, if you hang on to it, the price would still go up, okay? I think a lot of people believed him. I think a lot of people believe that they would have maybe taken some money off the table, okay? But if they had held on to it, yeah, I could have easily seen it go up as high as $1,000 a share, okay, from $3 something, okay? You have to remember when Roaring, he goes by the nickname Roaring Kitty, when when he told people to buy it, he showed that he bought like $53,000 worth of GameStop shares, okay? He was showing it to people on the Reddit crowd, right? And just some of the comments he was getting in, like, you better sell that, otherwise you're going to lose all your money. But he said, no, this stock is really heavily shorted. If you buy it, it will go up. And sure enough, more people hopped onto the bandwagon. It shot up from about $3 something all the way to $500. So, if you were in that trade, wow, yeah, I tip my hat off to you because, you should have made a lot of money because I was reading about the story on the Microsoft app news. Some lady was trying to teach her son how to invest, okay? And then she invested $60 in GameStop, okay? Not knowing that it was going to go up, okay? And I heard that, okay, when, he sold those shares, okay? I think he got about $3,500, $3,500, okay? And I think he said that he was going to use that money to either buy a new computer or a gaming console, okay? But for $3,500, yeah, you could probably buy a pretty nice desktop computer or a top of the line game console, right, with a bunch of games. But yeah, like I say, I think there's something happening in gold and silver right now. I was gonna say, can gold go up 10,000 and silver up to like triple digits? Okay. Yeah. Just because the banks that are trying to hold down the price can be very it can be very costly for them, okay? Because if they start to realize, hey, we're losing control, we have to put more and more money down to keep the price of gold down or the price of silver down. Let's just stop this shorting game and let the price rise, okay? So there's now you don't have the seven largest banks trying to hold down the price of gold right now. Okay, so I could say it could very easily shoot to the moon. Okay, probably just name just outrageous amount off the top of your head, and that'll be the price of silver, and that'll be the price of gold. Yeah.